Hey guys, and welcome back to my NES Memories unboxing, I should say, I guess. Now we've done all the hard cases, but I still got a bunch of soft cases left in the box here. So let's go over those, shall we? Let's see, we have Kirby's Adventure without a manual, but yeah, this is one of the final games released for the system. And it's a huge one, both in content and in actual cartridge storage size. I've heard. Never checked it out myself, but you know. But it's an excellent game, loved it, and played it a ton. And my save game is still on here at 100%. So it's pretty cool that it lost that long, that battery. I know Mark here never had this one, or at least doesn't have now. And this was actually a game that I just had to have again, and I picked it up again for way too much money. I think I paid 20 euros for it. But you know, I just had to have it. But Marky, you can have that one anytime you want. What do I do too? Next up, Shadow Warrior. Which you might recognize the cover as being Ninja Gaiden. But we got a name change. Great game, kicked my ass, never beat it. Enough said. But yeah, it is a good game. I did enjoy it. You know, you just feel in control, but it's so hard. Mega Man 4. Now my cousin had Mega Man 2, and I played that one the most. This was actually one of the final games that I picked up for the system when it was already dead. But you know, Mega Man 4 is still a pretty cool game. Not as good as 2. I think 2 is just, you know, kicks it shows all the corners of the ring. But 4 is still excellent. I did actually beat that one, but don't ask me to do that again. This one is not so old. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Yeah, it was a fun movie, but the game, it sucks. It's a horrible game. Don't play it, seriously. Next up we have... right. Tiny Toons Adventures 2. Interesting how I got this, since I saw on TV an ad for the first game. And I guess it was a very late ad, or I just begged for this game very long, since eventually my parents did decide to give me Tiny Toons Adventures, but you know, the first game was already out of stores and they got me this one, and the first game is far better than this one. And the reason I wanted that was that I was a fan of the series, as many kids were. It was an awesome series, Tiny Toons. But yeah, this is really kind of odd game, since for one, it has the best level for Lost. Which doesn't help, since levels before it can be pretty tricky and just aren't as fun. It's a little theme park and kind of mini game thing, and yeah, I never liked it too much, and I'd rather had the first game. Oh well. Next is Zelda 2, Link's Adventure. Yeah, the Adventure of Link actually. Should get the name straight sometimes. My cousin had the first Zelda game, and we loved that to death, and we played this game too a ton of, and it's alright. I can see that it's a good game in many ways. I also see some flaws with it that I don't like, and I never managed to beat it, since it's also freaking hard and it's also cryptic in that game. I couldn't understand that. But yeah, it's, you know, once you get into the groove of the game, it's pretty fun, and it's tolerable. Not the best Zelda game by far, although it beats Majora's Mask in my opinion, but you know, I'm going to have a lot of flack for that one, I guess. It's another pretty awesome game, one of the good movie tie-ins actually, Gremlins 2. Yeah, just a great game, also really hard though, never beat it. Should make a project of that too, since I love that game, it's great, it has awesome music too. Next up we have another one of my favorites, one that I actually wanted to get again too, Power Blade. The game which makes you want to buy a boomerang, I can tell you. I never did, since you know it probably wouldn't go back anyway, and then you have to fetch it. But the game is really awesome. It has a guy like Arnold Schwarzenegger throwing a boomerang at robots and kicking their asses with it, which you know, it's as awesome as it sounds. Enough said about that. Next up we have Gauntlet 2. Yeah, this game, you know, Gauntlet in the arcades was so awesome to play with friends. Since, you know, it had 4-player co-op and yeah, very suspenseful, little RPGs, but very light, just awesome game. So I got the NES game Gauntlet 2, and it's alright. The sounds you know, their voice samples sounds absolutely horrible. Sometimes you can't hear what they're saying, but you know, it's cool. The thing is, somebody tricked us, I think, since somehow we got knowledge in our head, me and my cousin, that when you played the game for 4 hours, you got a special level, and that was the ending. And we, you know, went sitting with another buddy, and I didn't have multi-tap, so we, you know, we took turns to go with it at 2 players, and we played that thing for 6 hours straight, and we didn't run into any ending. So it was a nice wasted day, since, you know, after 2 hours you're not really enjoying the game anymore, I can tell you. But we were dedicated. Another game that was very late in the life cycle of the NES, Asterix. Not sure if this ever got released in the US. It's a very easy game, does nothing special really. It's alright to go through now and then, it's easy. Yeah, it's Asterix. Funny thing is that Obelix got kidnapped, and you know, I'm not sure how many people are familiar with these strips, but how the hell did the Romans capture Obelix? That's just... it's impossible, but whatever. Next up, one game that's also rarely mentioned, Robo Warrior. Kinda interesting game, although not really my favorite, since it's very hard and well, just by design choices, which I definitely don't agree with, but it's made by Sunsoft, and it's a lot like Bomberman, although now he has also a gun and runs on batteries, and that's about the whole thing. But you get to go through levels which loop over and over until you find a secret hidden item, and it's just it has some very annoying things in it. Otherwise, it's a pretty cool game, and the music, you don't hear it mentioned often, but the music is just awesome. The level song is just great. Here, listen for yourself. Yeah, that sounds awesome, man. So, on to the next. One of my favorites too. Battle of Olympus, which came out around the same time as Zelda 2. And it plays much like Zelda 2. And personally, I prefer this one. It has, it gives much better directions. People actually say something instead of, you know, calling themselves failures or error. Here they actually say something and give directions, which actually helps. Although it's still very hard to get to the end, believe me. But yeah, I never beat it, since it's very hard, especially at the end when you go to Crete. And it's also one thing that you know, got me into Greek mythology, since Greek mythology is awesome. This was the first, one of the first games that got me into that subject. Next up we have, well, this is probably, you never heard of this, since it's freaking rare. It's Super Mario Brothers, little known game. It's rare to have just 3 games of this, but it also features Duck Hunt as a secret game, I suppose. Another one of my favorite games, which apparently I got from the video store, since the name of the video store's Videoland is engraved in the game. It's Snake Retro Roll, and many people can't stand this game, I happen to love this game. It's a great game, and I never had trouble with the controls actually, which is the biggest downside for most people. And this version I prefer very much over the Mega Drive version, by the way. Also in the music, since the music is pretty... well, it's not actually that great of music, but it's very unique sound for the NES. Not sure if you understand that, but look up the soundtrack and you'll probably hear what I mean. Next game is the god-awful Godzilla. This game, I don't like it. It's kind of board game, and you go into stages and you suffer through some of the worst slowdown in NES history. It's awful. Could have been good, I guess, but it's terrible. I think the AVGN covered that game at some point, probably some more, but you know. This is a game that I kinda liked, and it's Time Lord. Yeah, why did I like it? Because I like time travel, damn it, so I wanted to like this game, but yeah, it pulls some really nasty tricks to complete the levels too, which I don't like, much like Robo Warrior. It could be good, but it's such nonsense how you have to complete the levels and find all the crystals in this case in the levels. And it's also very, very hard in the later stages. Basically the first level is like, yeah, they hold your hand, there's nothing special there. And then the second level will already kick your ass the first time. Next up is Life Force, or Life Force Salamander as it's called here, or Salamander in Japan, just Life Force in the US. We got both titles. A little spin-off of Gradius. Excellent game. I just played it again, and I gotta admit, I didn't know the game had so much slowdown in it, but you know, it's still an awesome game. I love it. Played a hell of a lot of that, and it has the Konami code, which is of course always cool. Next up, this is also pretty cool, well, it's not cool, it's funny how I got this. Tom and Jerry, which not many people know about either. Little known game, I guess. But I remember when little I saw an ad on TV again for a Mickey Mouse game. Now I'm not sure which game it actually was, but I'm thinking back, it was probably Castle of Illusion for the Master System that I saw. But you know, I saw Mickey Mouse, I like Mickey Mouse, so I begged my parents to death. You know, I like that game, it looks fun, it's a fun platforming game. So they went out, and of course they couldn't find it since it didn't exist. And they got this instead, and my mother, you know, she got back and she handed this to me. You know, she said, we've been searching for 3 hours, we couldn't find it, here it's also a mouse, enjoy. You know, Gary is a mouse, but the game, it's not that great. There was also an SNES game, Tom and Jerry, and I do think the NES game is more fun and it's better, but overall it's not that great, and it's really freaking hard. It's a platforming game, and you know, it's alright, but good luck beating it since Tom is out to kill you, seriously. Here's an appropriately named title, Mission Impossible, since this is a Mission Impossible. Never liked the game, never got far. It's freaking hard. Next up is Marble Madness, and you know, I really tried as a child to complete this, but it did drive me to madness. I could never come to grips with the controls in this one, and mainly this is not in the isometric view, but mostly in the way the marbles accelerate and decelerate. I just never could wrap my mind behind that, around it. But it is an interesting game, although it's short if you can manage to beat it, that is. Next up, as I told you in the previous video, the same time that I got Yoshi's Cookie as a new puzzle game, I got Mario and Yoshi. Of the two, Mario and Yoshi is way more fun. This is kind of an interesting title, but for some reason it just lacks the polish that most Nintendo games have, in my opinion. I'm not sure what it is, but it just feels barren and kind of boring. Is this the last one? Yes, it is. And it is Monster in My Pocket. And it's the only game of that license, I believe, since there was this little toy line, Monsters in My Pocket, and it was those, tiny monsters to put in your pocket. Imagine that. And the game, it's nothing special, and that's the real downside. It's pretty standard, boring platforming, fighting kind of game, and it does nothing special to differentiate itself, and it's a shame. So I never actually beat it, although it's pretty short and not too hard once you get the patterns down. But I never beat it. It is kind of fun in 2 players though, I'll give it that. Anyway, that's it. Those are all the games that I used to have as a child. I hope you enjoyed this little video. It brought back some memories for me, which is kind of cool. I'm not sure if you guys had any enjoyment out of it, but it's my channel, I can do whatever I want, and I want to show this one. If you want any more info on these games, then I might be able to make a video on them, maybe do a let's play on some, since I do feel very eager to play through some and might as well record it. But first things first, and that is a CI episode again, and after that I can see about kind of going through some NES games for once. It should be a nice change of pace. Anyway, until next time guys, thank you very much for watching, and see you later. Bye.